Alrighty, Curtis. I believe we are good and going. So, what's up, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to another weekly live stream here on Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez with my co-host Curtis Jones. Curtis, how are we doing on this fine evening? Excited to talk about some Phoenix Suns. They get back into some action tonight, which we'll get into in a little bit, plus some more discussing about this Suns team.
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm just excited to see how we come out of the gate. Fresh, brand new. All the trade talks are done. Everybody's comfortable. I want to see how we do coming back in and closing out the rest of the season. So I think it'll be a different feeling in the locker room and a different viewing for us for the rest of the season.
I totally agree. And we got some people already in here in the chat. We had Big Merc over here, Big Merc 83 saying he's here, guys. Let's do it. Free Bull as he was here earlier in the stream and saying yo Bull. So Curtis, let's get into a little bit of action here, talking about Bull to kind of start off this kind of discussion on the Phoenix Suns because since the trade deadline, the Suns have obviously had to make some internal changes, and Bol has been that major internal change where they've really seen the growth of him, the stability with him, and he's been really, really helpful in the rebounding and size department, something that they lacked without Yusuf Nurkic, and something that Mason Plumlee kind of struggled with this Suns team. So going into tonight and looking back at those last couple of games, what are your overall thoughts, feelings on Bol, and are you as excited as the fans are for him to be playing? Because I know we've talked about him previously, and we
Yeah.
wanted him to shine. It's just that we never really got to see it.
Exactly. I mean, I feel the same as everybody else. I mean, I'm not on like a super high horse. I'm just happy he's getting play. I've got to see more out of him. I'm super happy he's finally playing though, because I feel like it was nonsense to not utilize a player of that size and work with him and develop his game or give him game time where he can develop the game and get comfortable with the team and figure out where his buckets are going to come from. You'll never know where your shots are going to come from and what shots to take if you don't play. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just happy he's out there. But one of the biggest things for me is this allows Kevin Durant to play his natural position, the three. And you know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest deal out of it. You got two people playing the post game for you. You don't have to utilize Kevin Durant down there, have him expending his energy on other bigs, and now he can play his real position where no other person of that position can guard him. And so it bodes well for us.
No, I completely agree. And I love how you added that fact that it allows Kevin Durant to kind of play that bigger three because we've seen that in these last couple games as well, where you put it on the mismatch where no one's going to be able to withstand Kevin Durant out on that perimeter, a 7-footer basically shooting lights out from 3-point range, effective defender. Yes, he's had some turnover issues this season, but besides all of that, has been able to be a key piece and one of the better pieces for this Suns team this season. I'm very excited to see that, and he works alongside Bobo and can kind of be a little bit of a like teacher, I guess, for Bol. You know, Bol still is a raw talent, and Bol, I think, isn't necessarily a KD-esque type player, a KD prototype, but has some shades of the game offensively that Durant brings. Bol in some of these contests has taken 9 threes, 10 threes, which is, a lot from a 7-footer, but KD can simply do the similar instincts like that as well. So I think that having that Bol on this roster with KD there is also great to have him, as that mentioned, to kind of learn
Yeah.
how to develop offensively outside with his game, but also add in as a rebounder too.
Yeah, it's funny when you say it because it's like he doesn't particularly have exactly what Kevin Durant has, but you can watch
Exactly.
him and you can tell he wants to. He wants to get buckets. He wants to do somebody bad. So I think the more he gets time, this is going to be one of the first and few times that he really gets an opportunity from a team. So if he gets this time, and then we go into coming seasons, maybe we will watch him develop into something very very special. But right now, I just want to see the growth.
I agree. And we got some more Suns fans here in the chat as well. Want to give them some love. So we got our boy Buggy saying, "Let's go Suns." What's up, Buggy? I got my boy Josh Crampton in here. What's up, Suns Nation? Talk about Bull been earning those minutes, and KD at the three makes the lineup tons better. I can't
Yes.
disagree with you, Crampy, at all, man. Like a guy like Bull adding that size, and I think one thing too he adds is that rebounding, something that the Suns lacked with Yusuf Nurkic getting those DNPs and stuff like that. The Suns Suns needed an extra rebounder. Mason Plumlee couldn't really fill in for that for the Suns, and unfortunately, it took this long to get to Bol Bol, which I think is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? All these injuries that the Suns have dealt with all season long, it got to the rock bottom point of them having to be like, all right, we're just going to be throwing random stuff at the wall. Let's just use Bol Bol to find out something that worked, which I felt like could have been found out a lot earlier with this Suns team,
Yes.
with their struggles and with their injuries. Do you agree with that, Curtis?
Heck yes, bro. Like we definitely just started doing stuff. And now look, this is owed to the fact that we got to this point because of Budenholzer. I'm not a fan. If we would have been
Mhm.
utilizing him, I feel if we had a different coach. But this is him scrambling and gambling because he's like, nothing I'm doing is working. And then we get him out on the floor. And it's like, all right, thanks, buddy. Finally we got to the nitty-gritty where we needed to be.
Mhm. No, I 100% agree. I think it's kinda wild, like, that it's got to this point, you know what I mean? Like, we have to
Hmm.
sit here and deal with that, and unfortunately for us Suns fans, this is what we have to deal with for the whole second half of the season, you know what I mean? It is going to be a gauntlet race of just trying to claw for every single possible win to just be able to get to that next point to convince Kevin Durant to stay, convince these people to convince the fans that we're still pushing to win. Is that how you kind of feel as well, Curtis?
I definitely feel that way.
We,
This dude, I'm sorry, King Nacho is going wild in the chat. He's
yeah, I
cracking
was
me
just about
up.
to
I'm
say
so
King
sorry.
Nacho's going off over here. Curtis Jones, Bruce. No way, this is huge.
There's
What's up,
no
King
way this is
Nacho?
huge.
What's up? What's up? Big Merc is asking for him to grab a snack, Nacho. I like
Oh
this
man.
comment because it kind of leads into the next thing. Even though Big Merc is obviously just joking, obviously giving a little bit of a laugh. It's saying Wemby saw Bull starting to cook, so he got scared. His kryptonite is Bull Bull. Wemby got himself so worked up that he developed a blood clot. And then that kind of translates into us talking about the game kind of going on tonight, as
Yes.
obviously the Suns are playing the Spurs, right? Kevin Durant is back in Texas. We talked about this. He's in your home state as of right now, actually, in Texas, playing the game versus the San Antonio Spurs. What are your thoughts on this game? I know you kind of went over it in the video, but what are you expecting? What are you excited for with this contest? And anything in particular that screams out to you about this game?
Anything in particular? I'll say, what am I looking for? Let's do that. I am looking for the Suns to blow them out. If it, That would be a good sign that we're about to be on the right track to me. They have no Wimby. And there's going to be guys. They're going to De'Aaron Fox is going to be playing hard, because he's have a load on his back. Pause. But we're gonna watch these guys really have to dig deep in their bag, and I'm sure they will. And I still think at that the Suns should be able to, if we play efficiently and the rotations are done properly, we should blow them out. And that's what I want to see. I want at least a 20-point game. That's what I want to see.
I think so too. And we saw earlier today, Booker is and Beal are off the injury report. The only person that was on the injury report was Cody Martin, who has still yet to be able to suit up for this Phoenix Suns team. But Vasily Micic, one of the new acquired players for that Yusuf Nurkic trade, he is going to be potentially being able to suit up. So that's someone that I want to keep a kind of eye on because with this Suns squad, we've seen a lot of ups with Bull Bull, but we've also seen some downs this season too. And one of those players who hasn't really gotten the greatest rap this second half of the season has been Tyus Jones. And I think with Vasily Micic, maybe we could see another type of point guard instituted into this lineup that can maybe be a little bit better or work a little bit better with this team because even though Tyus has shown us some great glimpses with this team as a point guard and as a facilitator with this unit, sometimes he has some turnover issues, and recently in that last game before the All Star break versus Houston, he had a lot of turnovers, the most that he had this season, which definitely did not help the Phoenix Suns in their push to kind of, keep this playoff hopes alive. What are your kind of thoughts on that, Curtis?
I think what we're getting out of him offensively, uh, and then having the issues with turnovers and him being on the floor as much as he is, I don't think that we're getting the value because he's not a threat on the defensive end. I think that Misic can do better. It's a bigger body. It's a bigger threat out there on the floor, and I think that he puts up the same Tyus numbers. My goodness, Tyus tying up my tongue. But he's putting up the same type of numbers, right, offensively. So
Hmm.
I don't see why we wouldn't start him over Tyus. Still give Tyus 20 minutes. I mean that's
Yeah,
fine. Still give him
I'm
20,
not
25
saying.
minutes. That's okay.
Hmm.
But I would rather see Misic out there more and starting. I mean, obviously we have to see, but
Yes,
that's
yes.
how I look at it. That's how I look at it.
So I kind of agree with you on that as well. I think that the main gripe with Tyus has been the defensive side of the ball and how
Hmm.
with these three guard lineups and with these smaller guard lineups, it hasn't been able to work. And we've seen Brad be able to work out on the bench unit in some succession. And a lot of fans have even asked for Tyus to be moved to the bench, Brad into the starting lineup, doing a little bit of a switch like that, doing something potential to kind of change things up. But I don't necessarily know if that's going to solve everything. I think adding another point guard like Misic could definitely help. Like you mentioned, bigger body, kind of plays a similar play style, but maybe could help out the Suns in still being a distributor and stuff like that. Maybe can not get as many turnovers. And I want to see what Monte Morris can still do because Monte Morris was a very solid point guard. He got some run in these last couple of games as well, where he also got to get a little bit of a spark, but I feel like he's kind of been buried into this bench where Big Merc is asking where will Misic get buried or bench or cut. I hope not cut. That would not be good. I don't want to. I
Yeah,
don't. I don't want to lose. I don't want to trade Nurkic just for Cody Martin and then lose on Misic. And then I mean it's a lose lose anyway. It's like I don't know. Did you see? You didn't see Nurkic yesterday, but my friend texted me. Yusuf Nurkic was like shooting loads of threes in his Hornets debut yesterday, and I don't think it was too great to be honest.
sounds fun. I like it.
I want to look. I want to. I want
Sounds
to.
nice.
I
I
want to.
like it.
I want to look at the stats. Let's see. Yeah, Yusuf Nurkic, 18 minutes, 0 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks.
Oh, dog,
0
I
for
almost spit my
3.
water out.
0 for 3 from the field. 0 for 3 from 3-point range. He did get 8 rebounds and only 1 turnover, and he was a plus minus of +8. I mean, I feel like he's a backup center at this point, so he kind of works out there, but
Guaranteed.
I don't know. Yeah, so if we do cut them both, Big Merc, we definitely do go underneath the second apron, but it would have to be next season where we cut them. So it would have to be after this season that we cut them because I believe they have 1+1s. I think if we cut them now, that we wouldn't go like it wouldn't help because we can't make any more trades or anything like that. I feel like the only kind of realistic way to get under the first apron is to kind of do that. And Curtis, random thought, but
What's up?
something we talk about while last week on this channel was the potential of the Suns being cooked. And I just randomly thought of this right now because I wanted to get your thoughts and opinions on this. We talked about the Suns trying to get underneath the second apron, and the Suns, if they cut Martin and Misic and lost all of their, uh, veteran minimum contracts, guys like Tyus, Mason, all of the guys, they could be underneath the second apron. They would be into the first apron. So we were talking about potential trades for Bradley Beal, looking at potential places, and I found a potential move that could get something done. Would you take on Karis LeVert, um, Clint Capella, and Larry Nance from the Atlanta Hawks?
Moving
Bradley.
Bradley, just Bradley?
Hmm.
Well, yeah.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to ask because it was possible. It was a 3-for-1 that could be done. Now they might have to. There would probably have to be more stuff thrown in, but that would be if, like, obviously they try to trade Trey and do something like that. But just a random thought that I had thinking about back from last week, and it was something that we discussed here because I saw this comment about dropping underneath the second apron. I think that's kind of the goal for the Suns going into next season, regardless of what they're doing this year. What are your kind of thoughts?
I'm sorry. What are my thoughts on what is it?
Dropping underneath the first apron or second
To
apron, excuse
be
me, to the
honest,
first.
I mean, I know that's a big deal. I know that's a big deal. But going into the offseason, before I create thoughts on such, what I'm saying is I would much rather, for this time being, watch what we do with the squad that we have and what we've acquired And then I would then have a better picture of, maybe 2 weeks from now, after a few of these games play out, then I'd be like, okay, now we get rid of this and this and this, right? Now we're figuring out what's not going to fit and what we'd make a play with. But right now, I don't know because I want to see how these new guys plug in with how these new lineups play out. So I don't have an answer for you, to be honest.
No worries, no worries. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. We do have something from my boy Cramp that I do want to answer. He said he had money on the Hornets, so he's screaming at Nurk, which is kind of funny. I don't blame him. But he's asking about Ty Ty Washington. So Ty Ty Washington, Phoenix native, has gotten some more minutes over these last couple games
Excuse me.
with other players like um not Bridges, Colin Gillespie, excuse me. They have gotten more minutes over these last couple of games. Beal and Booker were out in that last contest. They got some more run. What are your kind of thoughts on players like that that are on two-way contracts, some of these younger guys? Because obviously we know the Suns still want to compete for the playoffs, right? Like we are talking about. They want to still keep making this push. But over these next couple games, like you said, if they take that little, decline, a little step down, would you be mad if they played some of those younger guys and kind of invested into the next season, this season, if it's kind of thrown away?
As in what? Like if we're yeah, if the season's just showing, oh, we're not getting anything out of it, and now we just take the rest of the time to develop guys. Oh, no, I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Like,
I wouldn't be
okay.
mad at that at all.
Because I
I
think
would assume if we're making a good push, sorry, Tie fans, you're not going to see them anymore. But if the season starts looking grim and we're not gelling, we're not getting dubs, then yeah, I can see him out there, and I'd be okay with that. I'd love it.
I think Gillespie has looked a little bit better than Ty Ty now. Obviously, Gillespie has
Hmm.
had
Hmm.
some more and is more NBA experience. Was a little bit more experienced in college as he was a 5 or 6 year player at Villanova. While Ty Ty, I believe, was just a freshman at Kentucky. But Ty Ty still has the qualities to be an offensive creator and still could be a contributor for this team. Ultimately, if it's not in the immediate, but I think with guys like Booker and Beal out, they just wanted some more offensive scoring, offensive creation. So that's why those guys were kind of in there. But like you kind of mentioned, if they're going to be pushing for the playoffs, if they're going to still be competing, those type of guys are not going to be as, you know, instituted into the lineup as much.
Yeah, I don't. I would say we might get a smidge of them tonight, especially if we open up the lead. Like I'm hoping we do. We'll get a smidge of them, and I think if we see good flashes from them, a little bit of what we've seen, if we keep seeing more of them, they might find themselves in rotation. Even if we're doing good in the season, if they're contributing and it's meaningful minutes, we might see them a little bit more.
You got Big Merc over Big Nurk. What are your
Big
thoughts on
Merc.
that? Big Merc over Big Nurk.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
The season
I'll
is
go with it.
beyond time to give minutes to the bench. So Johnny Ray thinks that we should just invest into the bench.
I don't I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're there yet. I think if we look, guys, it's been such a Johnny, it's been such a big break. Okay. We came off of what was I was just looking at it a second ago. The last three teams we lost to, Rockets, Grizzlies, Nuggets. We beat the Jazz before that. Okay. Now, we lost to great teams. We lost to threats. But they were really close games. Well, no, the Nuggets game wasn't close. Let me stop lying. Let me stop lying. But I think we go into this and see if we go on a stretch here. I think we beat the Spurs tonight. I think we beat the Bulls when we match up against them. I think we beat the Raptors. We're going to get back into the Grizzlies. If we take that game against the Grizzlies, that's four straight. In my book, this is where we're going. If we beat the Grizzlies, the season looks way different at that point. 4 games in a row. The season looks way different, and you beat a pretty strong team. Am I right? I don't think this is throw the season away. No
No,
way.
I 100% agree with you with it. Even though we have discussed that the schedule is the hardest ranked accordingly for the second half of the season, I do think that
Mm-hmm.
they do have some games in there that they can get in wins. And like we mentioned, the Western Conference is very close in proximity with a lot of these standings. I know the
Yeah.
Warriors, I believe, are only a game and a half, to my knowledge, above the Suns. Then after that, I think it's the Kings, everything like that. Yep.
This next stretch, brother, this actually could play. If we beat the Grizzlies, the next 2 games is Pelicans. Am I wrong in saying do you take us in both those? Back to
I would
back
say I
Pelicans?
would say probably split, but
Probably
You know,
split.
but that's just because of what the Suns have showed me this season. They lost both to Portland, so I don't know if I can trust them
That's
with
true.
with
See,
New
but there's a
Orleans.
different heat in those Portland games. The Blazers are terrible, but there was a
But
different heat. Aiton was like, I'm
that's
not losing to
true.
y'all.
That's
You know what
true.
I'm saying?
That's
Aiton
true.
and then what's my other man's name?
Kamara.
Come on, they were like, we're not losing to y'all, right? Like this, that's different.
No, you're not
That's
wrong.
a
You're
little
not wrong with
different.
that. You got King Nacho hitting you with the Curtis Jones with the facts. Johnny
Hey,
Ray, I don't even trust us against the Pelicans. That's what I'm saying. I don't trust them against the Pelicans. But my boy Cramp says they'll make the play-in, and this is something that we talked about as well. I think that there's the possibility that they're most likely the 9 or 10 seed in the play-in going into it. And I trust Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to win 1 or 2 games to get us into the playoffs. But being the 8th seed or 7th seed in the playoffs does scare me a little bit. I won't lie to you.
dog.
Not gonna lie.
We'd be going into one gangster first round, bro.
Yeah. We win 1 or 2 games, and then that's our sentiment.
Yeah. Now, yeah, okay. Now, right after the Pelicans, that's when it. Oh my lord, it goes crazy after that. It goes crazy. March is about to be the test of all tests for the Suns. Timberwolves, Clippers right after, Nuggets right after, Mavericks right after, Grizzlies right after, Rockets right after, Kings, and then Lakers. That's ooh wee March is that's the first half of March. Oh my goodness.
If the
That's
play-in is
serious.
if the play-in is the goal, then let's develop. Well, my question is what do you have to develop? What is there to do? Are you talking like Bull develop, or are we talking like Ty, Colin Gillespie, Ryan Dunn, Oso Ighodaro develop? There's two different kinds of develop, and I don't see them benching anybody either. You
It's
can go.
two different kinds, and then how do you your sentence? If plans is the goal, then develop. How do you get to the plans if you're gambling on developing players? That doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense. 3-7 next 10 games. Hold on, what else I just looking at? I don't. I'm not rocking with that, bro. I think one, two, three, four.
Yeah, let me look at this next
I'm
10 too.
calling. I'm calling 4 to 5 wins in our next 10 games. I'm
Let me
not
look
gonna lie.
at
I'm
this.
calling
Let me
four to
look at
five.
this. Suns. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Oops. No, 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 no. Oopsie. We disappeared. Okay, now we're back. See, that's the thing when you have so many tabs.
I'm calling 4 to 5. 4 to 5.
Let's see. So tonight, dub. Bulls, dub. Raptors, dub. And those three are dubs. So Grizzlies, I'll say loss. Pelicans, dub. I'll throw Pelicans lost in there just to be safe. So what's that? 4-2.
That's four.
Timberwolves,
And
four
then we're
and
losing all the
three.
rest of them.
Clippers, 4. Nuggets, 5. Mavericks, I could see us winning. 5.
Maybe.
Yeah, so over the next 10, I could see us winning 5 or 6. I say max 6. Max 6.
Max. Yes.
Max
Yes.
6.
Super max.
Minimum 3.
There it is. I'm with that. I'm with that. Bro,
Max
I mean,
6.
those dudes just start hooping. What if mad random Bobo just starts balling? Like what if something happens that we're just not expecting and we go on a tear, dog? I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
Johnny says max six for sure. Hey,
Yeah, no, I know. But think about it, right? You think about it, right? Like, we're going to take this with a grain of salt, right? Because we all have seen the Phoenix Suns in every game. We've seen them lose to bad teams. We've seen them beat the good teams. Right? 3 game wiggle room. Yeah, I know, but it's true. It's true. It's because you have to value it. Some games in the first half, they'll be up 15. Then the end of the third quarter, now they let the Thunder go on a 20-2 run. Now they're down 10. Then the game's over. This is what happens with this team. And it could be against a good team. It could be against a bad team. You never know. The Spurs, they have no Victor Wembanyama. They should beat this team, correct? They should.
if we lose this one, I give up.
The Bulls have just Vucevic. Just Vucevic. Like, I don't know how you lose to that. The Raptors, I don't know if Brandon Ingram's playing. I don't know if he's back, but if he's not back, Scotty Barnes. I mean, that could be a lost game. The Grizzlies, I think is very close. But the last time they played the Grizzlies, to my knowledge, they didn't have Kevin
We
Durant,
could.
and they only
Oh
lost. They
yeah,
lost by
true,
less
true,
than
true.
10. So
Wait, what? Nah, the last time we played the Grizzlies. Oh no, you're right. Which one was I looking at?
on the February
Oh no, no,
11th,
no. That was the Nuggets that bust us. No, that's my
yes.
fault. That's my fault.
No,
That's
you're
my
good. The
fault.
Nuggets was the one that
Yeah,
we
that game was
absolutely
good.
lost.
I remember the
Yes.
Grizzlies game. That one was
But the
good.
Grizzlies
No,
game, that one's close. The
yeah.
Pelicans, like we said, the Pelicans as well. We've lost to them. They when they had like 4 wins, they were the worst team. They hadn't won in like a month. We were their only win, right? So like you could be like, oh yeah, of course we're gonna lose to that team, but they don't have Brandon Ingram anymore. They don't have Javante Green. They just waived him. I don't know. The Timberwolves, Clippers, yeah, probably most likely else. Let's be real. Like the Nuggets, most likely, but the Mavericks have so many injuries. If Anthony Davis is out, who knows? Who knows? No Derek
Anthony
Lively,
Davis would be the way we
No
got
Daniel
cooked. We would cook
Gafford.
them. Or not cook them, but we should be able to beat the Mavericks too. You're right.
If they don't have Anthony Davis, that's a win. Grizzlies, Rockets, Kings, Lakers. Now you're getting into some tough games, but then you play the Raptors and Bulls again. Cavs and Bucks, I'm not gonna lie, those are 2 tough games. Celtics, that's
Yes,
a tough
sir.
game. Timberwolves, that's a tough game. Like towards the end of the season, when you got the Celtics, Knicks, Thunder, Warriors, Spurs, like yeah, you're in a gauntlet. The last 4 games of the season, you might only win one, but like at this point, some of these games are
Oh,
winnable still.
yeah, yep, yep. Yeah, I saw somebody say, "Oh, Johnny, my man's Johnny said, wait, if Bill, what did he say? If Bill doesn't want to go anywhere, you think KD getting moved?"
Yes,
Yeah, if that was what we ended up having, if that was the case, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think in the offseason, we'll be able to find a home for him. It was just in this little stretch we had midseason, it wasn't happening. But I think we'll
exactly.
be able to find a home
And
for him. I
and
mean,
with him,
because even right now, even though they can't trade, they still have the whole rest of the season to keep talking to people. And then by the time the offseason gets here, I think the move will happen. But I was gonna say what he said. The other one I forgot. We never beat Denver, brother. At this point, we're for sure not beating Denver. We have nobody that's guarding my man Westbrook right now, and the way he's playing pick and roll with the big Jokic. Like we don't have anything that can stop Jokic at
mhm.
all. I don't care who we put on him. That man is putting on a show, brother. That man is dropping 40 on our neck every time, and we don't have any way to stop him.
Yeah,
So it's just no way.
we have no way to stop Nikola Jokic. No way to stop that pick and roll. Like Big Merc is saying, we got that third quarter madness badness that always comes through, that always just screws us in the end. Vucevic,
Dog.
he's talking about Mr. Vucevic. Saul H. Soto saying these 10 games will say a lot. Sadly, I'm not expecting much. I'm not expecting much either. That's what I'm saying. I feel like max 6, most likely 3 or 4, maybe 5, but throw it a max 6.
Max six, man.
Max 6, I
But
don't
guys,
know.
we're gonna be talking some crazy stuff in a few weeks if we come back and the Suns are cooking, bro.
Yeah.
What if this is the biggest if? What if we win all 10 of these bad boys and we're looking like the bad boys in the league, dog? That'd be amazing. I'm
We
not saying it's
say
gonna happen. I'm just saying that would be fire. I
we
would
say
love all
these
of us to be
players.
wrong. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just reading this. It says we say these players if are our only chance. Nope. Was it 23 and the Bucks were number 1 seed? They never even made it to the second round. Anything could happen. Oh, I think he's talking about the Suns being like an 8 seed or potentially like anything could happen, and I think that's possible, but for that to happen, for the Bucks team to lose, that's what I'm saying. The Bucks had to go through a lot of injuries, and that Heat team shouldn't have been the 8 seed. The Suns are playing like they should be the 8 seed. That's the difference.
Yeah. I mean, we can literally count on one hand how many times the eighth seed did anything in the playoffs.
Hmm.
I mean, like, come on, that's not even that's. I think like some sports, the seeding kind of doesn't tell the real story, but basketball has been pretty consistent with the 8th seed is going to lose to the first seed. That's kind of
Yeah.
just how it happens.
And it's kind of just expected. Maybe a win. Maybe it's a not a sweep. It's a 5 game, potentially 6 game series.
Yeah.
But you don't see a 7 game series with a 1-8 seed, particularly ever in the NBA. Meanwhile, an 8th seed beating the number 1 seed in a particular first round series. But
Yeah, buddy.
it's going to be tough for the Phoenix Suns. I ultimately think that going back to this one right here, like you were discussing from Johnny Ray, I think they will find a trade for Bradley Beal in the offseason. It was just difficult during the season, like you mentioned. With them being underneath the first apron, they can also take back more money than what they send out. So,
Hmm.
yeah, you are trading away Bradley Beal, but you could take back 50 or 60 million dollars if you realistically wanted to, or like 55 or 60. So if you did take a bad contract, if you found a team to give you a bad contract, that could be plausible. And then once again, even if it is a bad contract, it's a no trade clause, and then use the remaining money that you have to then build around, the superstars and find the other pieces that are needed. I think that's
Hmm.
kind of the direction. But if that's not the case, if Durant does really go, then who knows? How did
Yeah,
how did this get sent? I didn't send anything. Did you send something?
that was me.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I was like, huh?
I was laughing with my boy Big Merc.
Oh, Big Merc. I was so confused. I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, what? That was awesome. You got me. You got me good.
That's great.
If they
If they
win,
win all 10, they win the chip. Yes, come on now, Saul.
nah,
You see the vision.
okay.
We win the next 10, and then it's like, oh, they done figured it out. They done figured it out. Bo's dropping 20 and 10 a night. Booker's averaging 35 for the second half of the season. It's over with, baby.
Bull's dropping 20 and 10 a night. He's a steal for the Suns. They didn't play him. He's on a $3 million contract. Watch out,
Oh,
NBA. Watch out for Bull. He's
oh,
absolutely
man.
feasting.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
There it is, dog. We're on the way, man. We're on the way.
I
Watch
will
tonight,
say,
bro. Tonight, bro. Bowl. 15 points, 9 rebounds. Let's get
all
it.
right, let's see it. I'm excited
15
to see
points, nine
Bull. With
rebounds.
no Victor Wembanyama, I'm expecting a big performance, and I'll agree. Saul, I'd say right now, if they win all 10, we're all gonna be delusional. If they go on a 10 game win streak, we're all gonna be going on Twitter, all on social media. Suns winning the chip, back out of here. 10 game win streak. We are just gonna be absolutely insane. We're winning the West. Move over Oklahoma City. We're the new kings.
Oh man. I love it, dog. What they call it, it was Linsanity, and then we'll call this Bowlistics. That's what this will be. When it starts going
Ballistics. We got King
He's
Nacho saying
shooting lights out, Bowlistics.
we got King Nacho saying it will be incredible.
Incredible. Okay. Nah, we're talking right there. That was hot. That was heat. I like that
That's
one.
good.
I like that
Bull
one.
just turns into Wemby. I want Bull to eat. That's what I'm saying. We all want Bull to feast. They are on TNT tonight, True TV and Max. So you can watch
Okay.
them on the good stuff on national television. It's not like you need to have some access to some other stuff. I do have a question before we do sign off for the viewers. If any of the viewers are in the Phoenix area, have you guys driven by the Footprint Center and have you guys seen the new stadium and stuff like that? What have you guys seen? Because obviously Curtis and I aren't in the area, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on that as well. I know Curtis, we kind of talked about it earlier, but they are changing the name of the arena. Um, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Middle of the season too, like not something that you see like an arena change, at the end of a year. You know what I mean? I feel like it's
Yeah.
so awkward that it's happening middle of the season, and the Suns don't play a home game until that New Orleans game. So like when they come back, will it have a new name? Will it have a different name? Will it have what will they call it? Like, imagine like you're a team like the Lakers and you traveled to the Footprint Center and played there in October, and then you go to play there in April and it has a different name, and you're just like, all right, I played in two different arenas in the same place. Like it's just kind of funny. It's
Right.
kind of wild. Johnny Ray.
By the way, while y'all are answering that question, Saul, I'm pretty sure Bowl is starting. Pretty
Yes,
sure.
I was gonna say Bull is most likely going to be starting. He started in the game versus the
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the game that he like fully took over, and then that's when he's been starting ever since. I'd expect him to be in that lineup. Like I said, it's probably going to be Book, KD, Bull, Richards, Tyus. My guess, like
It's probably gonna be Tyus, but
it's probably going to be Tyus. Should
Misich. Put him out there. It's probably
Misic.
gonna be Tyus though.
I mean, I wouldn't even mind if they ran done, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
How did he do? I didn't watch. How did he do in the Rising Stars game? Did he have any good stuff out there?
So they actually looked pretty active on the defensive side.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing flashy really offensively. He was coming off the bench. He was a replacement player, so it's
Mm-hmm.
not like he was as impactful. But we'll have to wait and see what he does and kind of what he brings. But I don't think anyone's answered the question. So Cramp, my boy Cramp, saying he needs to mouse some baloney. Oh, for Bowl. Mid season is wild. Yeah, I know. Mid season change is definitely wild. But Curtis, is there anything else that you'd like to say before we cop off the stream? It was a little bit shorter one today just because there's not as much to talk about with the Suns. Obviously, we extended it a little bit longer with your guys' questions and thoughts and stuff like that, but with no predictions, game breakdowns, anything like that, there's nothing really to go over. Anything else you would like to say before we sign off?
No, that's all I got, man. But
Awesome.
I would say just in general, this one was super fun. That was really
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah.
No, it was definitely some great laughs as always. You know what I mean? Me and you always chopping it up, but I like to see the chat always getting in some good laughs as well and always hanging out with us. So do want to say thank you to Saul H. Soto, Josh Crampton, Johnny Ray Lopez, King Nacho, Big Merc, um, and I believe that is it. That was in the chat today. Everyone that was and Buggy, I was chatting today. If I missed your name, I am sorry. And I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode here on Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez with Curtis. Curtis, we do get a signing coming through right now. The Grizzlies are signing forward Lamar Stevens to a 10-day deal. Kind of wild that that is kind of coming through as we're signing off, but that will be someone we'll have to keep an eye out for when the Suns play the Grizzlies. But thank you guys so much for coming out to the stream. Once again, we'll be live every Thursday breaking down the Suns, and we'll have a post game video coming for you guys as well following the matchup from the Suns and Spurs. We'll have more Suns content coming to you guys daily here on the channel. So if you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Have a great rest of your day, and peace out, y'all.